Hi, my name is Scott and I'm a developer. I'm an experienced developer with over 5 years working experience. I'm here to guide you on how to set a validator node on Oasis protocol. First off, I would assume you have basic knowledge on the use of command line tools. Before you start, you need to visit https://docs.oasis.io/node/run-your-node/prerequisites to get Oasis node binary properly installed on your system. To become a validator on the Oasis network, you need to have enough tokens staked in your escrow account. The stake requirements can be found at https://docs.oasis.io/node/run-your-node/prerequisites/stake-requirements. You need 2 physical machines to complete this task, namely, localhost, your local system, and server, a remote system where Oasis node would be run. The first step is creating an entity. This is done by creating a working directory and copying the Genesis file. During the creation of a working directory, keys and important artifacts that are necessary for the redeployment of nodes are created. They should be saved properly. Inside /localhoster, create the following directories. Entity, this stores your entity. The private contents in this directory are safest if used on a machine kept disconnected from the internet. The directory's permissions should be RWX, group of dashes. Node, this stores a node we are calling node. The name is not important. It simply represents one of your nodes. You can rename it to whatever you wish. The private contents of this directory will be used on the node itself. You should initialize this information on a system with access to the entity's private key. The directory permissions should be RWX, group of dashes. To create the directory structure, use the following command. The latest version of the Genesis file, genesis.sin, can be found on https://docs.oasis.io/node/main/. Download it and copy it to the working directory and set it like this. The next phase concerns initializing the entity, which can either be done using an HSM or a ledger device to protect your private key. When using a ledger device, the Ledger Wallet is implemented as a core Oasis signer plugin. The Ledger Wallet should be set up as it is described in the setup section of our Oasis core ledger docs. The entity's private key is stored in your Ledger Wallet, and the public key is exported as described in Exporting Public Key to Entity section of our Oasis core ledger docs. Signer to initialize an entity, simply run the following from /localhoster/entity. A node registers itself to the network when the node starts up. However, in order to validate itself, the entity signs a public key associated with the node. This allows the node registration to happen without the uploading entity's private key to the internet. To initialize a validator node, take note of the static IP of the server where your node will run, and issue the following commands from the /localhoster/node directory. The command will generate the following folders. Once initialized, the node is added to the entity descriptor so that it can properly register itself when the node comes on. The process differs with type of signer used to create the node. This will update the entity descriptor and entity.sin, and subsequently the entity_genesis.sin file that contains the signed entity descriptor payload. Before you run the node on the server, you need to ensure that you have a place to store necessary files for the node. latest Genesis file can be found in the network parameters. You should download the latest genesis.sin file and copy it to /server/etc/genesis.sin on the server. The next phase is configuring the Oasis node. There are a variety of options available when running an Oasis node. The following YAML file is basic configuration for a validator node on the network. Before using this configuration, you should collect the following information to replace the variables present in the configuration file. Only the owner of the process that runs the Oasis node should have access to the files in the /server/node directory. The Oasis node binary ensures that the files used by the node are as least privileged as possible so that you don't accidentally shoot yourself in the foot while operating a node. To ensure proper permissions are set, we suggest running the following to remove all non-owner read/write/execute permissions. Now, you can start the node by running the following command. As part of the starting the server process, the Oasis node binary will, by default, set up an internal Unix socket in the dictator of the node. This socket can be used to communicate to the node and query details about the network. Run the following command. If this command fails, you'll receive a non-zero exit code and there's a high likelihood that you are not connected to the network. However, if it does work properly, it should respond with output like the following, but with potentially many more values. Once you get to a node that's connected, you can move on to the next section as your node is not yet registered as a validator on the Oasis network. If your entity was fully staked at Genesis, you're good to go. If not, follow these steps to stake and register it. Before you can make any transactions, you'll have to make sure that your node is synced. To do so, call this command on the server. If your node is synced, the above command should output. If your node is not yet synced, you will need to wait before you can move forward. Your entity's private key should be disconnected from the internet on the local host. Therefore, you need to generate the following transaction on the local host. The current minimum stake required to register an entity and register a node as a validator is 200 tokens. So, we will generate an escrow transaction that escrows 200 tokens on your own entity. Before generating the escrow transaction, you need to set the following environment variables. Then execute the following command. Before you can run your node successfully, you'll need to register your entity so that your node registers properly. You could do this process after you submit the escrow transaction. However, to save steps, we prepare everything beforehand. Before generating the registered transaction, you need to set the following environment variables. Then execute the following command. To complete the staking process, we need to copy the generated escrow and registry transactions from your offline localhost to the server and submit them. Follow these steps to do so. To ensure that your node is properly connected as a validator on the network, you can run the following command. If your node is registered and confirmed a validator, the above command should output some fields omitted for clarity. Pay attention to the is_validator field, which should have the value of true. Congratulations! If you made it this far, you've properly connected your node to the network and became a validator on the Oasis network. For the final touch, you can add some metadata about your entity to the metadata registry. The metadata registry is the same for the mainnet and the testnet. The metadata consists of your entity name, email, Keybase handle, Twitter handle, etc. This information is also used by third-party applications. For example, Oasis Scan fetches your image from Keybase and uses it as the node operator's avatar. For more information about Oasis Protocol, please visit our website www.oasisprotocol.org. Thanks for watching.